They struck from the fog, smashed through hulls, and vanished before the Navy even turned around. These weren't just boats, they were floating nightmares, built for one purpose: to hunt.
Section 1. The Ambush Predators.
The Cilician Hemiolia. This was the sports car of the ancient world, fast, agile, deadly. The Cilician pirates ruled the Mediterranean with this beast. But here's the genius part. They removed half the rowing benches to make room for fighting men. While merchant ships were heavy and slow, the Hemiolia was stripping them clean. It didn't just outrun you, it swarmed you. The Illyrian Lembus. Size isn't everything. The Illyrian Lembus was small, unarmored, and terrifying. Think of them as the wasps of the ocean. They didn't fight fair. They used speed to ram the oars of larger enemy ships, snapping them like twigs. A massive warship without oars is just a floating coffin. Once the enemy was crippled, the Lembus crew moved in for the kill.
Section 2. The Northern Fury. The Viking Drakkar. You know the silhouette, but the dragon head wasn't just decoration. It was psychological warfare designed to terrify villagers before the ship even touched land. But here's the real danger. These ships had a virtually flat bottom. That means they didn't need a harbor. They could sail right up a shallow river, strike deep inland, and disappear before the local army even woke up. Nowhere was safe. The Snekja. This was the workhorse of the Viking Age. It wasn't the biggest, but it was the most annoying to fight. Why? It was incredibly light. If the enemy blocked the river, the crew could pick the ship up and carry it over land to the next body of water. You couldn't trap them. They were like ghosts. Just when you thought you had them cornered, they were already behind your lines. The Skade. Now we move from raiders to pure war machines. The Skade was massive. While other ships carried loot, this monster carried an army. We're talking up to 80 warriors on a single deck. It was designed for one thing: ship-to-ship combat. It didn't just raid coastal towns, it hunted other fleets. When a Skade appeared on the horizon, the battle was usually already over. Section 3. Eastern Monsters and Super Weapons. The Chinese War Junk. In the East, they built ships differently. While European ships were rotting, the junk was revolutionary. It had watertight compartments inside the hull. That means you could blow a hole right through the side and it would still float. It was the tank of the ancient seas. Pirates loved them because the sails were made of bamboo matting. They never ripped in a storm. You could chase prey through a typhoon while other ships were sinking. The Dromon. This was the ship that gave pirates nightmares. It wasn't fast, but it carried a secret weapon that changed history: Greek fire. A bronze tube on the bow sprayed liquid fire that burned on top of the water. You couldn't put it out. If a pirate fleet got too close, they didn't just lose a battle, they burned alive. It turned the ocean into a furnace. The Turtle Ship. Most pirate tactics relied on one thing: boarding the enemy deck. But this ship made that impossible. The roof was covered in iron spikes, concealed under straw. If you jumped onto this ship, you were impaled instantly. It was fully enclosed, like a floating armored vehicle. Cannons fired from every side, and the dragon head on the front pumped out toxic smoke to blind the enemy. It was untouchable. The Arab Dhow. Speed isn't just about rowing hard, it's about mastering the wind. The dhow used a revolutionary triangular sail called the lateen. This allowed them to sail against the wind. European square-rigged ships were sitting ducks if the breeze was wrong, but the dhow, it could zigzag toward them, strike, and sail away into the wind where no one could follow. It was physics used as a weapon. Section 4. Speed Kings and Suicide Tactics. The Barbary Galley. These vessels were powered by pure terror. Hundreds of slaves were chained to the benches day and night. If they stopped rowing, they died. This created a limitless, exhausted human engine. While sailing ships were stuck waiting for the wind to pick up, the galley could surge forward at top speed. Calm waters meant safety for most ships, but for the galley, that was hunting season. The Xebec. This was the ultimate hybrid. It combined the speed of a rowing galley with the heavy firepower of a sailing ship. It had massive lateen sails for cruising and oars for close-quarters combat. The shallow hull allowed it to hide in coves where heavy Navy frigates couldn't follow. It could run, it could fight, and it could hide. It was the Swiss Army knife of piracy. The Bermuda sloop. This was the drag racer of the high seas. Built from cedar, it was incredibly light and resistant to rot. But the secret was the mast. It leaned back at a severe angle, allowing it to catch more wind than standard designs. It could literally sail circles around clumsy merchant vessels. It was fast, responsive, and nearly impossible to catch. If you saw this silhouette, you were already too slow. Section 5. The Titans and the Endgame. The Daceres. If the other ships were fighters, this was the boss battle. It was the ancient equivalent of an aircraft carrier. It was so massive, it didn't just ram enemy ships, it ran them over. It carried towers full of archers and catapults on the deck. Pirates couldn't board it because the sides were too high. When a Daceres entered the bay, the pirates didn't fight, they ran. The Sown boat, Sambuc. In the Red Sea, pirates used ships that defied logic. They didn't use a single iron nail. Instead, the wooden planks were sewn together with coconut fiber cord. This sounds weak, but it was genius. When a storm hit, stiff European ships would snap and break. The Sambuc would flex and bend with the waves. It survived waters that sank heavy warships, allowing pirates to hide where no Navy captain dared to go. The Corvus. This wasn't a ship, but it was the invention that finally killed ancient piracy. The Romans mounted a massive boarding bridge with a heavy iron spike on their prows. The moment they rammed a pirate vessel, this bridge dropped. Slam. The spike locked the two ships together. Instantly, a naval battle turned into a land battle. Pirates relied on sailing skill, but against Roman heavy infantry on a stable platform, they were slaughtered. For thousands of years, the seas belonged to the fast and the fearless, but with the rise of organized navies and heavy armor, the golden age of the pirate ship finally sank beneath the waves.